Hey guys, how's it going? It's Nate and Greg from Nate and Greg's World. We're here today with Adam and Rick from The Lap. Today we're on this episode, we're going to be discussing what happened to The Lap that they're going to do all the way down to Central America, what the plan is now. We're discussing a little bit of the coronavirus stuff, what their thoughts are on the gun ban. But today we're going to go out for a ride, so it's not going to be stuck in the studio. So stay tuned. We're going to have fun. Join us for a ride. Let's go for a rip. Guys, absolutely fantastic to have you back in the studio again. When were you guys here last?
It was September, last year.
Yeah, September. You guys came in. You had like a 33,000 kilometer trip all planned, going down to Central America and shit like that, and things didn't work out.
No. Well, and technically we did leave on this trip.
Yes.
It was a great 48-hour, 10-month trip.
It was, 48 hours? Where did you guys go to cross the border at?
We went to Niagara.
Okay.
Our original plan was that we were going as far as Fort Erie the first night, going to spend the night there, get up next morning, cross the border early, and head down into Pennsylvania. So
we were able to check one of those things off.
Right. Yeah.
We made it to Fort Erie.
Yeah, we made it to Fort Erie and we stayed the night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even before that, I think because you guys were supposed to leave on like a Monday or something like that, and then a couple things went down.
Yeah.
And that got pushed a little bit there.
It did.
Yeah, we were supposed to leave October 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a family issue that I had to take care of before we could go, so we pushed it a couple of weeks.
Right.
And we were going to leave on October 31st.
Right, Halloween.
And I don't know if you remember this past Halloween, but it was horrific weather where Montreal canceled Halloween. And
but they're French people. Or wimps.
Yeah.
It was all high winds and a lot of rain, and we went, yeah, you know what? Pushing this another 24 hours isn't going to hurt anybody.
No.
We leaving in crazy weather just didn't make any sense. So we left November 1st.
November 1st, yeah. And we had set up, I'm not sure if we actually discussed Bunka Biker in our first interview or if we had even discovered it.
I don't think we had.
The first time. So when we were, just after we were here, we found a resource online called Bunka Biker. And it's basically people all over the world that you can contact, set up, and they've either got shops, a place for you to stay, a place for you to pitch a tent, meals, whatever, different variations. So
place for you to pitch a tent.
Yes.
We're talking about the one you sleep in?
The physical tent that you sleep in. No,
okay, not the other.
I haven't seen any that are full service.
Yeah.
And at that time there was only one lady in Fort Erie that had her name there. So I contacted her, and we ended up. That's where we spent that first night. We went up, had a great time. With,
it was awesome.
Her and her boyfriend, and it was.
We pulled into their garage. They're like, "Do you guys drink beer?"
Literally,
we could probably be talked into it.
There you go. So they fed us. We had a great night. They had two separate, two rooms. Oh no, sorry, you slept on the couch.
Slept on the couch,
but I had a bedroom.
Yeah,
right. Showers the next morning. We got up,
nice.
Took off to the border, and that's where things went sideways.
Okay, but before we discuss that, just for people that are listening to you guys the first time, can one of you sum up really quickly what the trip originally was planned?
Sure.
What was the whole...
You want me to do that? You discuss the border?
Sure.
All right. So the original trip we had planned was 33,000 kilometers down into basically the Panama Canal.
Right.
And so we were going to head down the the east coast of the U.S., across the bottom, down through Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. And then our turnaround point was to come back up and come up the west coast into the U.S., do the Highway 1 tour, land ourselves in BC, and go coast to coast in Canada and make our way back to Ontario over the course of roughly 10 months. So that was the original lap trip. And that's what we set out to do on November 1st, all geared up, ready to go. And
I can't wait for you to explain the next trip.
Yeah, we're going.
You're going to take the reins on that one, right?
No, hang on. Where's the map? So we got up it would have been Sunday morning. Yeah. I think Halloween was on a Friday. November 1st was Saturday. We got up on the Sunday morning, made our way to Tim Hortons and then Fort Erie. And
the last Tim Hortons for 9 months.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's where Adam can take over.
Yeah, we crossed the Peace Bridge, got into 2 separate lanes, and Rick breezed through with basically being asked, do you want to come into the U.S.? And they said, and he said yes, and they said, okay, off you go. and I pulled up, and using personality at the border probably isn't a good idea, but I do. And
especially when you're supporting a Mohawk like that.
That's right. Yeah.
At the fucking border there too.
Rocking the Mohawk.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up, and I have on the left shoulder of my riding gear, I have a Baka patch, and so the border guard says, "What's Baka?" And I said, "It's Bikers Against Child Abuse."
Yeah.
And I think he was really trying to figure out if this is, if it was an affiliation of any sort. And so that let that go. And then he says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, today we're going to Pennsylvania." And he says, okay. And then after that, and I said, so I, gave sort of a brief outline of the trip.
Yeah.
And he says, he says, why? And I went, what? Why
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why are you? And I said, for the adventure. And he went, why? And I went, oh, this is not going to go well.
Yeah.
And so then I hand over my passport, and he scans it, and he says, where's your waiver? And I said, it's been filed because I had a run-in with the law and needed a waiver to get into the States. And he says, I've got nothing. And I went, well, I paid for it, so it should be on file.
Yeah.
I was told it will be there. And he's like, yeah, no. So send me over to secondary and sat there for a while. Basically, I just pulled my bike up, left my friggin' keys in it. Just, I'm freaking out.
Right.
Meanwhile, Adam's already halfway to Pennsylvania. Well, he'll catch up.
They actually let Rick pull over, and so he was waiting by the bikes, and I'm inside for probably about an hour, and I get called up, and they said, where's the paperwork? Where's all of that? And so I give them the information that I had from Canada Pardons and all of that to make sure. And they're like, yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, go take a seat. I'm like, look, my buddy's out there. It's November 2nd. It's a little bit chilly.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we'll send someone out to go get them. And they did.
The guy who came out to get me was not pleasant.
So,
no. So
I mean, border guards are not pleasant people.
There wasn't much personality there.
Right.
I was so as Adam said, they'd let me pull over because I knew he was going to be longer than me. I literally pulled up. The guy asked for my passport, asked me where I was going. I said Pennsylvania. He's like, is the bike registered in Ontario? I said yes. He's like, carry on. I'm like, okay, well, can I go? Is there somewhere I can park? My buddy's behind me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, pull over there by that concrete barrier.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not in anybody's way, you're fine. Mm-hmm. So I pulled over, I'm watching over my shoulder, watching Adam at the at the booth. He's there like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh. So he comes pulling up behind me. He's about 20 feet behind me when he gets off his bike, and there's a border guard there to meet him. Yeah. So, because I hopped off my bike thinking, all right, we're good to go. Yeah. And so I'm standing out there. The hour goes by. I haven't had a cigarette, and I'm like, I walk over to one of the guards that was there, and I'm like, can I smoke out here? And they're like, as long as you're not within X number of feet of the doors to the building. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. I start chain smoking. Yeah. Right. So, and then this guy, he was a big, tall guy, like a shaved head, beard, like, and he comes walking out and he just points at me through the fence. Right. Like, right. And he like gives me the wave to come in. No words. Right. So I start walking, and as I'm walking by Adam's bike, I see the keys in it, and I'm like, can I grab the... He's like, leave it, right? Just like that. I'm like, all right. So we're walking back towards the building, and he's like, you go in that door, and he's heading to another door. So I walk in, and I see Adam sitting in the waiting area, and head down, dejected. Crushed. He was crushed, right? Yeah. Like at this point, they had said, you're not getting across.
And well, what they said was, you're not getting across today.
Right.
And I mean, I'm an eternal optimist to a fault. Yeah. And I mean, I had a good conversation with the border guy inside, and I said, look, you know, I've been planning this trip for a year and a half. Like, if I've got my I's dotted and my T's crossed. Like, there's very little that will surprise me. This is. But there's very little that will surprise me on this trip, and he's like, I'm sorry, man, and so he actually ended up being a really cool guy. He rides, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna have to take you through the process of fingerprints and pictures and all of that, and then he gives us a list of things that I need in order to come across. So we're like, all right, so we get on the bikes. Go back over the Peace Bridge. We're back in Fort Erie. Went and found a hotel.
Liquor store first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Liquor store.
Yeah. And then we just went crazy on social media because then it's like, okay, so what can we do? And it was everything from flying the bikes to Mexico. Finding ground transportation for them, because it was the only border that I would have an issue with is the U.S. border.
Yeah,
right.
And all of the paperwork that I needed to do, we could probably have gotten done in about a week, and get in process, and then keep our fingers crossed. But by the time we came back through Mexico,
everything would have been lined up.
Get to the border, and they're like, "Hey, Adam, come on in."
Yeah,
right.
So that was my mindset that night.
Right.
And so we licked our wounds, had a cocktail or 7.
Yeah.
And then so the next day we got back on the bikes, drove from Fort Erie to Elmira. And that was a cold ride.
That was cold. There was snow.
It was snow, and it was it 2 degrees?
Yeah, 2 degrees by the thermostat plus your wind chill, right?
Oh,
so it was
right.
Like hot pockets and gloves and boots and like jeans. Like it was a cold ride.
Yeah. So my folks live in Elmira, and so we went there, and then the following day we borrowed their car. Went to Toronto, went to the U.S. consulate, and then we had like this scavenger hunt around Toronto where one organization would say, you need to go here. Okay, now you need to go here. Okay, no, we can't actually do that. You need to go there.
Yeah.
But all of it was positive progress, right? Where it's like, well, this shit might actually happen. No.
Yeah, because I remember when that was going down, because I'm sitting there, I'm watching you guys on social media going, what? They're not across... Okay, what's going on now? Oh, okay, we got an update. Okay, another update, and fucking watch it. Yeah, we're here now. We're going to this place. You know, all over.
Like the consulate to the RCMP to commissioners to like we were all over the place on that, and asking the question, what can we do to expedite this process, right? Because everybody's saying you're 90 to 120 days to get this application done. Like, what can we do? What can we do? And the only exception apparently that they'll make is family emergency or death.
Which we contemplated.
Yeah,
right, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, Mom, Dad, can you fly down here for a second and say you need some help?
Yeah.
Start looking through the obituaries of the U.S. Find a close name. Yeah, that's my uncle.
Yeah. So that was apparently the only exception to the 90 day to applications.
Right.
That was.
So then we kicked around all kinds of ideas, and none of them were financially viable, right? We were
$6,000 to fly the bikes.
Yeah, we were looking at $6,000 just to get the bikes to Florida or to Mexico. That's not even getting us there.
Yeah, that's that $1 a day budget, eh?
Yeah. Well, and if everybody does remember, we had a $40 a day budget. Right? As Adam said, it just none of it made financial sense for us.
Yeah. So then we looked at, okay, well, we'll come back to London, and then late February, early March, once all the paperwork's processed, we'll trailer the bikes to Tennessee, and then do an abbreviated version, like same kilometers, just crushing more miles a day,
right,
to get the trip done. But that would have had us coming back across Canada in October.
Right. Yeah. Well. It would have put us Arizona, Nevada, like in August, in like 130 degree weather, and then as Adam said, like we'd be East Coast, October, and so we couldn't run the trip the way that we had originally planned, and a lot of our planning was based around weather. Right? Like,
it was also very strategic.
So it just wasn't going to be the trip that we had envisioned from the get-go. So we decided, okay, you know what? We're going to do the lap 2020 and leave October 15th. Well, actually, we were going to leave October 1 of this year.
Yeah.
And do the whole trip the way we had planned, October to roughly July, and we would have hit all the timelines and criteria that we had originally planned for. So
but now in hindsight,
you
guys must be happy that it was unfortunate this all went down. But like, what the hell would have happened if you guys would have done the ride?
There's a lot of things that have happened since we got back. But with COVID, we would have been either in northern El Salvador or southern Mexico when all of this kind of went down.
When they started shutting borders and
we would have had some very real decisions to make.
For sure.
Because it wouldn't have been, okay, we'll just make a beeline. Across Mexico, across the States, back to Windsor and make that isn't a beeline. And so it probably would have come down to either abandoning the bikes and gear and flying back, or hunkering down and weathering COVID somewhere else. And I couldn't honestly tell you what we would have decided. I'm a pretty stubborn.
I've heard that. I've heard that once or twice,
and I don't like. And the idea of abandoning my motorcycle isn't
very appealing.
No,
you guys would have ended up hunkering down with that machete killer, right?
That's right. Your buddy.
My buddy.
He's sending them updates constantly. This is where they're going to be.
But you think, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just us either, right? It's our families and everybody else, right? That we need to be cognizant of, and so the idea of doing it this year, it's entirely possible that the world will be opened back up in October, but I don't think it would be responsible of us to.
Do you think the U.S.-Canada border, if you had to make a bet, will be open by then? Like the numbers in the U.S. and the U.S. now saying they're going to open, and
I would honestly hope not.
That's my opinion too.
For tourist travel, I would hope not. And for us, it's more. Do we feel comfortable?
If the border was open and you could leave next October, so October 2020, would you risk it? Would you ride the States right now? Or?
No. And not just for we've discussed the reasons that we aren't going to do this trip this year. And like COVID is a big one, like the responsibility, like the social responsibility, and the whole idea and basis of the trip has been safety for us, right? Regardless of what it was, what aspect of it. This is just another thing that we need to be safe with, right? Yeah. And sure, we can very easily self-isolate while we're motorcycle camping.
Yes.
Like, so pitching a tent here and there, but it takes so many elements of the trip away as well. Like any of the touristy things we wanted to do, or like being able to go and sit at that mom and pop diner somewhere to. Yeah,
it's all shut down.
So, and the other big one is the budget, right? Like the Canadian dollar is taking such a shit kicking right now that now our $40 does nothing for us in the States, and everything south of the States is still based on that American dollar.
And how funny is that? Like America's in the worst shit out of everybody, and somehow their dollar is remaining decent.
The stable, is the so yeah. There's other aspects that outside of the COVID element that are going to prevent us from being able to do that cross-border trip.
Well, and I can't imagine turning to both of our moms and saying, you know, every expert you listen to, there's going to be you know, a second wave of this at some point, whether it's classic flu season or if it's the fall. But yeah, turning to our mothers and saying, "Don't worry about us. Yeah, we're motorcycle guys. We can't do this." It'd be like, no, it's just dumb.
You're grounded, you little bastard.
That's right. Yeah,
you're not going anywhere.
You're 45 years old, but
go to your room.
Yeah. So yeah, end of the day, the trip. We don't feel it'd be responsible to do. So, you know,
but the plan still is in the works that at some point in time, this trip's going to happen.
This trip will happen.
Yeah. So it's just postponed to some undetermined date.
Whether it's 2021, 2025, this trip will happen.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger. But
no shit, eh?
There might be more hotels involved in future trips. But
The budget might get expanded.
Yeah. But no, like fucking as Nate was saying, you know, like the hindsight being 2020, you know, like you got the COVID stuff, and I know there's some other things that you guys ended up going through. You lost a very valuable member of your team.
We did.
You know, and I can only imagine what it would have been like had you guys actually been on the road and then getting the news that,
Christine was a key element to us building this trip and hyping this trip, and a great friend. Like we talked very early on and said, like, she is the third member of the lab, right? And her untimely passing was a shock to and a huge blow to both of us. And had we been on the trip, well, I don't know. Like,
well, it was one of those things when we were preparing for the trip. We actually talked about what would we do if somebody close to us passed away. And the reality was, outside of our immediate family, it would have been very difficult to turn around. Also, who knows where we would have been? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? If you're in the hills of Honduras, and you get a message that somebody passed away, I mean, we could be 3 days away from an airport. And then again, the question happens: what do you do with your gear? What do you do with your bikes?
Well, you almost have to look at it like maybe that family member would want you to finish.
That's right. And that was the conclusion that we came to, was that that as much as it would hurt, as much as it would absolutely kill us not to be back and supporting everybody else, we would have to mourn on our own and figure out a way to do that. And not and so it was a conscious decision that we made early on. Christine, I don't know.
So, as I said, and I really don't want to be diving too deep into this because, I'm sure, there's still some mourning going on for sure. But, just hindsight being 2020, the trip started off rough to start with, right? With not being able to leave when you first wanted to, and then you had the second date that you're ready to leave. Okay, get ready to go. Weather fucking sucks shit.
Yeah.
So had to wait another couple days, and then you're finally on the road. Yes, let's go. And then you got Adam being full cavity searched right there, the border there. That's the part for all our listeners. That's the part he left out there. Some border guard was elbow deep into him.
They didn't insist on it. I requested it.
Yeah.
I would like the 2-knuckle treatment, please.
He walked funny for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a bit of a suction noise as he's trying to get off the bike.
He wasn't falling off. Let's put it that way.
You American boys have some big fingers.
Remember the big guy I said?
Yes. No, but so you had all that shit go on, and it's like, holy fuck, it was almost like the world was screaming to you.
Absolutely.
This is not the time to fucking go.
Yeah, like that guardian angel saying, no, you don't want to leave right now.
There was we were shooting a bunch of videos after we made our decisions and what we were going to do, and one of them, Rick rather poetically. Oh no, it's outside of your nature, but it was poetic at the time. Said we may not be where we want to be, but maybe we are where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And holy crap, did that come true?
Yeah, that was 3 days after being turned away at the border, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how often that happens in life.
Yeah.
Where you get all pissed off, something didn't work out, and then down the road, it's like,
oh, wow.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I'm so glad that didn't happen. Yeah. And so...
No, so... as I said, it definitely sucks that the trip didn't happen the way you want to.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad myself because if Machete Guy didn't get you, the fucking COVID thing would have.
Right.
And for those that don't understand Machete Guy, check out the first episode that we did with these guys here. But
I can't wait to see what dangers you come up with for our next trip.
Oh, wait for it. We've been writing for a long time.
Did you read the Bible where that one? Who's the guy who got ate by the whale?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to you out east.
Yeah. As you're going across on one of the ferries or something like that. Yeah. But
I'm just sitting here trying to remember who. I remember my Bible stories.
Yeah. But so I'm really glad that you guys didn't end up going. Just because of everything that's fucking going on right now. But now you're COVID's gone and wreaked absolute havoc on absolutely everything. I know Nate and I, we've been wanting to do a shit ton of riding ourselves. We've got out for a couple rides here and there, on, good days when, it's, everybody else is out, fucking let's go, let's do some shit, but they're not the rides that we want to be doing. We want to go for more.
Have you had a feeling of almost, I'm doing something wrong?
Yeah.
No, I don't fucking care.
It's funny because at the beginning of the season, now I have ridden every month this year because I'm a psycho.
Yeah.
But the first couple times that I got out to even just go to the grocery on my bike after everything was shut down, so mid March-ish, right?
Yeah.
I'd get on the bike and I'd be like, am I a COVIDiot? Like, am I just part of the problem?
Yeah.
And the more that I guess I've done my research, I've done my reading and all of that. I mean, the only reason that you wouldn't go out and ride is because if you got in an accident, you were statistically more likely to be hospitalized.
Yes.
Than if you were riding in a car.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
However.
But you're a lot more isolated.
Yeah.
Like self-isolated.
That's right. Yeah. And if I don't ride, I'm more likely to put other people in the hospital.
That's right.
because my mental faculties won't be there.
That's right.
Yeah. And so it's just been interesting. But then we get a smattering of really nice days, and it's like, there's nothing like riding now.
Yeah.
But so we've had this COVID thing. We're not doing the rides that we want to do, and then everything is taking an absolute shit kicking right? Like the economy, it's fucking being tanked.
Yeah.
You have all the small businesses, that they've closed their doors because they have to, for one, and now some of them are having to close their doors for like ever.
Yeah.
Because they just can't afford to keep that building there.
And that's it. That's exactly. There's not a lot of reprieve for the small businesses.
No.
Like when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that this morning or last night.
Yeah.
About like some of the restaurants that we frequent around here.
Yeah.
And the family owned ones. Like what's going to happen there? Like when Adam brought up, like when they reopen, like limited capacity, is that going to be enough sustainable business for them to actually open their doors?
Well, is it going to be more expensive to have your doors open, paying staff, than what you can make on a limited?
Well, it'll have
people,
to be, right? I mean,
right?
The restaurant industry right now. I mean, if they're doing 7 to 9% profit margin, they're doing well.
Yeah.
You take out 50% of seating capacity. It's not like your turnover rate is going to be higher, right? You're not suddenly going to be able to have 7 sittings for dinner. You're still going to be stuck to 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very interesting landscape. I'm glad I'm out of that business.
Because people aren't going to be making reservations for 10 o'clock at night to go have supper because they're waiting for one of the 4 tables that are open.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're not making.
It's going to be an interesting.
Well,
and
sad. That's the one thing. Like when you and I were on the phone the other day, you were explaining to me about this new trip that you're doing, right? Where your guys are going. You're planning to go out. All the way out east, but you're staying in Canada.
Yeah.
And I know we got talking about it, and you had made mention that look, we don't need to jump borders to have a good ride. We don't need to jump borders to have an adventure. There's so much shit going on right here in Canada that is just amazing to see.
Yeah.
And with you guys going out to out east there, and with the talk that we had, videotaping different things and being like, hey, look, we're in this small little shitbox town, population 200, but check out this restaurant we just had this fantastic burger at. Like just to be able to promote the different small businesses, the little towns, like this is going to help create serious tourism. Like I know, like neither one of us, like your guys' stuff or ours, is like, world recognized at this point in time.
We're not hitting the masses.
We're not quite hitting the masses, but just for the viewers and listeners that we have, they'll be like, oh, wait a second, like, and I remember, that, we had this town right here, and Adam and Rick, they were there, and they talked about this fucking burger. Let's stop in there. Maybe it'll help out just giving a little bit of publicity to some of these small mom and pop organizations. And I think that was what's really going to help get our economy going again. Now, let's be very clear. I am no economics major. I know money sometimes goes into my bank account and quite frequently goes out. But
that's the thing. You wonder how many of those mom and pop restaurants are going to be left. Operating when you guys go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Because like you say, they're at like a 9% profit margin. Yeah. They can't afford to be down for months.
No.
And not like.
Well, and if you have that kind of profit margin, it's not like you're sitting on 3 months of operating capital.
No, that's what I mean, right? They're already done, devastated.
Yeah. And some have made that conscious decision, right? Like there's a restaurant, and I don't know the name of it, but I was talking to a truck driver the other day, and he said this place that's been up north of Timmins for almost 30 years. And it is like a mom and pop. They're the ones in the kitchen cooking and everything else.
Yeah.
He decided after 3 weeks, right? Like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this to my employees and drag them through it and everything else. And
you know what I think made that decision for people? Like you're looking at a restaurant for 30 years.
Yeah.
And the government says, we're going to give you some money to help you keep going. But when the economy's back up and running, you got to pay that money back.
Yeah.
So now you've just added to your expense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're at a 4% profit margin. Like, why are you staying open?
Yeah.
What is the point?
It takes the love out of it, right?
It does.
The joy, the passion.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that. And it just people making the decision. It's not worth it, right? So,
yeah.
Which is sad. It really is sad.
Well, me and Greg have a restaurant we love going to breakfast at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? We're worried because it's like right there, like a block away from here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have great breakfast, but whether they'll survive or...
Yeah.
I did see they have takeout now, though.
Oh, that's good.
So hopefully...
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just what you guys are going to be doing on your trip, you know, like you've got the map, you know, it's going to be going up on the social media, so everybody will be able to go and have a look. Oh, these are the routes you're taking, you know, because it's not like you guys are taking the highway straight down, you know, you know, fucking like fuck that shit, you know, like you guys are going to be going and hitting off, you know, off the beaten path, and it'd be like, hey, you know, this is, you know, the small town, you know, this is where we're eating, you know, and I think that's going to help drive the tourism. It's going to help drive, you know, the economy in these small towns.
We're laughing. We're laughing because so I've been off work since mid-March.
I got to preface this. Wow. Yeah.
English.
Let's start this with Adam has been off and has done all of the planning for this trip, and I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's fair to say that I am the more adventurous of the two of us. So, that I'm willing to kind of push the boundaries of comfort zones when it comes to different rides.
Yeah. So Adam has a very interesting leg of this trip that he is adamant about now.
Oh, it's happening.
And so
even if and here's the thing, even if ferries are shut down and we can't get to the Rock, we're figuring out another way to get up and do this ride. So there's it's the loneliest highway in I think the world is what they call it, but it's the 510 between Happy Valley Goose Bay and Port Hope Simpson in Labrador.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just somewhere it depends who you talk to. It's somewhere between 400 and 460 kilometers of.
They don't even know how fucking long it is. Like that's how bad.
Nobody's been there forever.
Some
because it's too lonely.
Some guys that have ridden it have taken a slightly different starting route, and so they add a few K. But the actual stretch between those two towns is about 410 kilometers.
Okay.
And it's just desolate.
So the one that say it's 400 kilometers just never made it to the end. They're like, oh, fuck it. We've gone far enough.
They ran out of fuel.
400.
They ran out of fuel, exactly. Because there is no fuel on this road.
Yeah, there's no fuel. There's nothing.
Wow. And you're going, fuck it.
I'm like, oh, here we go.
And so I heard about this because I'm like, let's go like really friggin' north, right? And so I heard about this road, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
And so I said to Rick, I'm like, dude, you just got to trust me on this one. We're gonna be fine. We'll be, you know, there'll be a few nights of ditch camping or whatever it is, but it'll be not a problem. And I don't like. Have you looked it up at all?
Oh no. I watched a video that Adam showed me of two guys that did this highway. And that's about it. I know it's the 510. I know it's partly paved.
There's some paved,
mostly mud.
Some sealskin.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's
the biggest warnings that I've got is do not operate after dark because you will run into moose.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, I really think that this trip that you guys have going is going to be fantastic for so many reasons. Like, you guys are going to be able to get on the two wheels again, go for a good fucking trip, you know, which is what every biker wants to do. Go for a fucking rip.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, but then everything else that's going along with it, the different videos that you're potentially going to make and stuff like this. And I know we're going to be staying right up on that. But so right now, the way it stands, hopefully, if things are all working out, things are opening back up and shit like this. I know that you'd mentioned that you're hoping for a July 1st start.
Canada Day would be awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that would be our ideal kickstands update. And we're looking 6 to 8 weeks is kind of the timeline we've set
Oh,
to do
that's
this.
nice.
Yeah, it's
That's
still
a good.
If I were you, I'd expect the 8.
Yeah. But
Somebody's going to be stuck on that lonely road.
right, exactly.
And you'll find the Canadian machete guy.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
my bike will be running fine. Suddenly, Rick, I don't know, he'll spring a leak somewhere. We're going to hang out for a couple weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that is our ideal start date would be July 1st. And
Nice.
And
Do you want to walk them through the trip?
no, you go ahead.
Are you sure?
I'll let you have this moment.
Before we do that, do you guys feel more comfortable doing this trip now that guns are all banned in Canada?
Oh,
Like, how do you feel about that? Or is that you guys feel safe?
yeah.
Like, Trudeau has really helped you guys out with this
It's
trip.
true.
Like,
Well,
I'm sure you
yeah.
were worried before the gun ban what was going to happen in our violent Quebec area.
Well,
Right.
it does. It makes the pack lighter because we don't have to take our flak jackets.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. We can leave the armored gear at home.
That's right.
But yeah, you know,
It's funny. I mean, we were going to go cruise through the states and cartel country,
Yeah.
and we weren't worried about guns, just machetes.
But you were worried about guns in Canada, though.
Of course.
Yes, yeah.
All those illegal guns everywhere.
Yeah.
That's it. They're scooping them up off of the streets, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
That's a that wasn't a concern of ours.
No
to
way.
start. No,
not in the slightest.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
But I feel like every Canadian should probably worry about that though, like the illegal guns.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and I've lived in Canada for most of my 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Most of my more than 40 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've ever seen a fully automatic weapon in Canada.
No.
Right? Like
Only if it was illegal
only if
Right,
it was illegal.
yeah.
Yeah.
or on a military person.
Yeah, and like you know what? I don't even know how to, and I'm sure it's a common thought. Like it just the whole common sense of what they're saying. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's the battle that you hear across the U.S. constantly. It's a battle that you're hearing here. Like you're not going to stop those illegal guns.
No.
Right? Like you can take every gun from every law-abiding citizen, and all you're doing is essentially creating more people that want that gun, so they're going to find it easy.
They're just gonna
right?
the illegal people or the criminals are gonna make more money off the sales.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? You can't even get illegally. Their market's gonna open. They love it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
two people that love it: the psycho lefts,
Yeah.
right? The extreme lefts, and your criminals,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like when drugs are illegal, they want that. They make all kinds of money. Like I was saying on our show we had about the gun ban, the way they're doing it is the same as saying, let's get rid of all of our legal drugs, like that you can get at the pharmacy or at whatever, and then that'll get rid of all the illegal drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you get rid of the legal, that'll also get rid of the illegal.
You're
Like, it
just
makes
creating
no
a bigger
sense.
market,
You're-
right?
Yeah, allowing them to make more money.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which once we figure that market out, we are going to have to increase the budget for the
Right.
original lap. So
Get into gun sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not crossing any borders.
if we, possibly never.
Right. Let's secure that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have you sell the guns. I've got enough issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like as we said on our gun ban podcast there, it just makes absolutely no sense. No common sense. And like you hear all the different arguments, that come up that, well, if we get rid of these guns, then there won't be these guns. Yes, there will be, because the people who want them are going to get them illegally.
Yeah.
It's that simple, and to go and punish someone that's doing a good job, maintaining, being, following all the laws and stuff like that, by now going and saying that stuff that's been legal for so many years is now illegal, does absolutely nothing. It really does,
Yeah.
There's going to be crime. There's always going to be crime, So why not put the money and the focus into where the actual problem is?
Yeah.
It's not the people that are going through, getting, the courses, getting their license, getting, their firearms that are registered, and
Proper
treating them,
storage and
everything.
else, yeah.
They're following
responsible
all
gun
the
owners.
rules,
Yeah.
all the laws, and if every firearm that's out there that's owned by a responsible firearm owner, is all registered and stuff like that, why in the fuck would you go out to commit a crime?
Yeah.
Because it's altered. Oh, well, that came from Bob. That Bob did that,
Yeah.
Like, it's super easy to find out who it is.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the same government, though. Like, when we look at this realistically, that decided they better give the COVID relief money to prisoners.
Yes.
And they're giving money to people in jail, in prison, at $2,000.
And that talking to you guys prior to this is the first I'd heard of that, and that's like,
Well, it just came out yesterday, I think, or a day before that.
Something
or
like that, yeah.
yeah. And
No, I let me, because I like arguing both sides of anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those assholes.
Yeah, quite naturally. But there's a ton of holes in the CERB thing.
Mm-hmm.
A ton of holes in it. But if they, like we had talked about, if they had rolled it out without those holes, if they had gone through everything and made sure that only the people blah 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 get it, people would still be waiting for money. It wouldn't have done anything.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So I'm hoping that the clawbacks and everybody's 2020 taxes, that kind of thing will be fixed in a year to 18 months.
Yeah, but the prisoners aren't paying it back. How are they going to pay it back? They don't do taxes. They don't make money.
What are they going to spend it on?
Fucking canteen, brother. They're going to get so much shit from the canteen.
Which the government makes money off of, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, it's going to be our tax-paying money that goes back to paying that money. Like, I agree. Like, we talked about with Justin Trudeau, like, saying, listen, we know we're giving the money to people that shouldn't have it, but if we, like you say, if we didn't do that, then people would be waiting forever. So we'll correct it after.
Yeah.
So what do you do about all the people that got it that can't pay it back?
No, there's going to be garnishments, or there's going to be something.
And not only that,
people are going to, because there's definitely been fraud within the system.
Oh, for sure. But not even fraud. Like, have you looked out the outline of who is eligible and who's not?
I honestly haven't, because I've been working. So
Right.
It's not something that I have even entertained. But
it's confusing. Like, there's that. Do I fit in this? Do I not fit in that?
Okay.
So all these people that didn't do it fraudulently, but actually thought, no, I qualify. I qualify for this. Get it? And now what is the government going to come back and then write who should have got it and who shouldn't have?
It's going to be.
And now they're going to send out to these people that did actually fall, but they're like, no, you didn't really fall in those guidelines, so you got to pay it back.
Check mark.
Plus some interest, asshole.
Yeah.
Because we're in a lot of trouble financially right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's like there isn't. Like when Adam and I were talking about reasons that we can't travel, like do the trip we wanted to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, like the financial fallout from this, and not just in Canada, but worldwide, is going to be years before that restabilizes and they figure out where all this money that they're giving out actually came from, right?
Yes.
Like what budget lost so that this could happen and this relief could be paid out and that sort of thing.
Because none of it's real money.
No,
it's not real.
No, it's not. It's not even, and you can't even call it stimulus money, right? No. Like it's survival money. It's what people are needing just to that aren't working, to be able to get their groceries, to be able to make sure that the rent is paid so that their landlord can get his groceries, and that it it's
or that we can pay more carbon tax on buying shit so we can fucking.
That's what Trudeau will say. I had foresight this was going to happen, and see, the carbon tax just saved us. It's paid everything. We're good, guys.
Don't worry about it. We'll scrub it. But yeah, like the economic fallout from the COVID crisis is going to probably be anywhere for it's could be upwards of 10 years, right? And again, I'm not an economics major, but the amount of money that's flowing out without anything coming back is astronomical. So,
what do you see when the borders reopen and travel? Italy is saying that they're going to pay people to come visit.
Well,
would you go?
Yeah, I fucking would.
Would you?
I would. Yeah, I would for sure. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. And that sort of thing. Like, is travel going to be cheap, or like are airlines struggling so badly now that things are going to go through the roof, right? Where people still can't afford to travel. But talking about, I read an article about Las Vegas, how it's been just barren, right? Like everything is gated off and everything's got a security guard out front of it. The fountains are all shut down at the Bellagio, and like all the different tourist attractions.
They're making bets on weather.
Right?
Yeah. That's the new thing.
Yeah. And so like things like that, are they gonna drop the bottom out of pricing to promote the travel? Are they going to have to jack things up to get to recoup from this? Right? Because those things like that aren't getting any sort of I shouldn't say it with any confidence, but their casino revenues are not being reimbursed, right? Or that sort of thing.
The other side of it is what is recreational travel going to be, right? Like once things are opened back up, I would say most people will be just, get me back to work. I need to make some friggin' money.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that recreational travel? Is there going to be a demand for it?
Immediately, I don't think so.
No. Like, I think you and I might be, the outliers on that, where it's like, please open the provinces up.
Yeah.
Because
we got some gas to burn.
Because we've got 2 months that we want to go kill.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people, average working Joe is gonna be going, all right, well, let's go to friggin' Vegas.
Yeah, and that's true too.
Well, so. and that's why I'm saying, like, this trip that you guys are making out east is going to be absolutely huge for the economy. Like, if we could get everybody to do a small trip like this, stay in Canada,
take a road trip.
Go to mom and pop fucking organizations, whether it's the restaurant, whether it's the little general store,
the butcher.
The butcher, dealing directly with farmers, going and saying, listen, man, I need some meat, let me buy that cow off you, or find me a cow that I can have, and, we'll hook it up with the local butcher and we'll make shit happen, because, going to like Walmart and stuff like that, you got to go grab something quick, fucking sure, whatever. But let's face it, they're really not hurting that bad. I'm sure they're taking a fucking hit, but they're not hurting as bad as all of our small businesses and shit like this.
Well, they've been allowed to be open.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah, like Walmart has not been affected in any of the shutdowns. Right? No. Being that they have that such a diverse product line, right? Like they have their groceries, which is probably the only thing that's let them stay open, because anything else it sells just closed. Automotive. Anything like that has been shut down.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but that's the thing. You look at those small owners, like the small business owners with the front shops downtown in a small town.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think, they're thinking, like, how much food do I have to put in my fucking store to stay open?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, so I can sell everything else.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I'd be looking at putting a shelf of fucking bread in there.
Yeah.
Can I open now? I have an essential.
Yeah.
And I make money, right?
Yeah, and that's true.
Because otherwise, if clothiers and other retailers like that can't open, we're all going to be wearing Joe Fresh because you can buy that at the grocery.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but an entire society dressed in Joe Fresh would be interesting.
Yes.
And then any clothing. I don't know the clothing line at Walmart, but yeah, that would be that would be essentially our clothing options.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I think it's great. You know, like. And as I said, everybody should be doing a trip like you guys are doing.
Yeah,
and get off the beaten path. Go find the small places. Help out these mom and pop, organizations.
Yeah.
We'll get the economy going a lot faster than if everybody's like, oh, good, now we can all go back into Costco without our masks on.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen, though.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be a mask society for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mask and all those Walmart, Costco, all those will take even more power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
the smaller shops won't
well,
be
the
able to afford.
malls won't be opening anytime soon.
Very
A
true.
lot of those stores are going to go to shit.
Yeah.
Like, what was it in the States they said? Was it J.C. Penney's?
I don't know.
One of the big ones, like J.C.
read
Penney's.
They filed for receivership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy
that's-
shit.
That's massive.
That's
right?
massive.
That line has been around for decades.
Yeah, and it's
right?
huge in the
Yeah.
States.
Yeah,
And they said,
and-
no, we're done.
Yeah. So
Well, and they were borderline to begin with, right? Like Sears in Canada a few years ago.
What's Sears?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. But I mean the online shopping market
Mm-hmm.
almost made
Oh,
all of those places extinct to begin with.
yeah.
This just
Yeah.
pushed it over the edge, right?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
But I as much as our trip, yes, I'd love to say that we're going to be going out and pounding a bunch of money into local.
Yeah.
We're still on our tight
You're going
budget.
to pound something
Oh, yeah.
into the
Like,
local,
yeah.
right?
Don't get me wrong. I don't think you guys are going to be able to be the saviors of the economy.
No,
However,
yeah.
if people
But-
could do this kind of thing,
And we want to be a bit of a good news story, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean we've again, we're just two knuckleheads going on a motorcycle trip,
yeah,
but going and doing it within Canada means a ton to us.
Yeah,
it does.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're the guys on our packs going down to Panama. We had our hockey helmets
Yes.
strapped to it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're proud Canadian boys.
yeah,
And so yeah, to be able to show some parts of Canada that aren't naturally considered tourist destinations is important. But again, just having a good news story if people want to follow us and go, okay, you know what, it is okay to still go out and have fun.
yeah,
And it'll be a very different trip than anything I think either of us have ever imagined, because I still think social distancing will still be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
for sure.
and out of respect for the people out east, we will need to be very, very cognizant of how people are feeling about travelers coming through.
yeah,
And it might be something where we just are isolated. We're either on the motorcycle or we're at whatever camp we're at, and not doing too much interaction, because you know what? If I lived in Nova Scotia, if I lived in Newfoundland, other than the fact that economically it hurts not to have tourism, I would probably be sitting there watching anybody with an Ontario driver's plate or license plate,
yeah,
cruising down my roads going, "You son of a bitch, you're here, you're going to kill us all."
Yeah.
And even though, statistically, it's highly unlikely that we would spread any part of COVID.
Right.
But we could be asymptomatic. It's entirely possible.
Most people are. They're finding out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it'll be where both of us are very social creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty eye opening for us.
I think it is too. Like whether it's driving through that small town and finding something 5 miles outside to pitch our tents or whatever, and not hanging around, because and everywhere is going to be different. Like the East Coast is so known for its hospitality, and
Yes.
and their like just their love of fun and that sort of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react, like how we come out of this once we're identified as being from Ontario, having traveled through Quebec to get there. It'll be
really hard on them because we're a ton of fun to hang out with.
That's right.
So I can only assume that people will be following our channel going, damn it, we really want to hang out with Rick and Adam.
Yeah, but they're from Ontario.
But they're COVIDiots. So I don't...
Yeah, so it will. And I think it's going to be a place-by-place assessment.
Yeah.
Like roll in, hit the local Tim Hortons, see what the vibe is like.
Yeah.
Right? And whether we just nope, these guys don't want us here.
Yeah.
We
Keep moving, fuel up, go.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Quebecers don't want you there anyways.
No.
If you don't speak French.
Yeah. Oh, let's touch on this French thing. So hang on. So
Rick's been given 4 jobs for a 10,000 kilometer 2-month trip. Rick's been given 4 jobs.
Okay, so Adam is. How would you describe your Spanish?
Conversational.
Yes. Adam can. So when we had the trip to Panama planned, it was basically, okay, I'll learn as I go. Adam's going to handle it. So when he started planning this East Coast trip, he's like, how's your French? And I'm like, I can understand a little. Like if somebody came up to me and said something, I could pull out the key words and say it in English, right? But I could not communicate back to them an answer, right? So Adam, with his time off, he's like, I need to learn French for this trip. So
I downloaded the app.
So I said, well, when I came to see you in Nicaragua when you were living down there, this is the app I used to get my basic Spanish. So he says, okay, downloads it. Last night, we're sitting playing cards. He's like, so about that French thing. So he's like, I have a job for you. I'm like, what? He's like, you got roughly 6 weeks to learn French, conversational French. And I'm like, he's like, I downloaded the app. That's as far as I got.
Yeah.
So, and this was close to a month ago that he started to learn French.
So they did an assessment of the first thing on the app was an assessment of my current skills.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't exist because it started with, is this a cat or is this a boy? And I'm like, I got a long way to go here. Rick already said that he can understand the damn language, so this one's yours, bro. And let's be honest, you have more time than you admit. You don't work hard, so
that's actually true. So now I've been tasked.
So
with,
French will be a challenge.
So
you only have to learn to say one thing, anyways. You live in Canada, learn to speak English.
That's the sentence we need.
Just learn that. That's all you need.
That'll do great for us. I'm sure.
Yeah, and so is that when the machetes come out?
That's right. Yeah. He's all about the violence. He wants us to get jumped.
I know he does. I'm thinking he's thinking that there might be like some extra footage that he might be able to get on their channel and be like, well, the lap's dead, but holy crap, have we got some good stuff.
Exclusive video.
Yeah, suddenly Nate and Greg.
That's why I wanted to tape today's. For that footage, the last time they were ever seen.
Yeah. Nate and Greg suddenly becomes like this snuff.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying it's about 10,000 kilometers?
Oh, we're switching gears?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We wouldn't want to keep leading you down that same road, right?
Yeah, it's about 10,000 K.
Yeah.
So we're going to be leaving London, and then heading up to Barrie, and then working our way basically over to Quebec City. We're going to go do the Gaspé Peninsula, so we'll ride all the way around there, and then and there's going to be all kinds of sidetracks.
Yeah,
and we know that. That's why the 6 to 8 weeks makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit all of the eastern provinces. So we're going to go down into Fredericton, Then work our way over to Prince Edward Island, assuming the ferry's running. Oh, and you get to ride the bridge.
Oh yeah. I'm not a big bridge guy.
No.
Yeah.
That bridge that runs across to PEI, that's going to be
I'm
be
hoping
white
for a really
knuckles.
windy day.
Yeah. But in fairness, you can't see over the sides. I have had conversations about this bridge over the last couple of weeks, and you can't see over the sides. So.
My most fun is to make sure that I've got our intercoms on when we're going through things that I know Rick doesn't enjoy.
Yeah.
So that I can be like, hey buddy, how you doing? How's it going? How's it going? And,
No, not that. Be like, oh fuck.
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Dude, your back wheel, it's wobbling a lot.
And you can see over those walls of the bridge when the wind takes your bike up.
Right. When
you'll
you
see
become
them.
elevated.
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll see
Like,
no
dude,
problem.
Dude, get up on your pegs. Get up on your pegs. So anyway, we're gonna come across hopefully the bridge once, and then take the ferry down into Nova Scotia. There's right now I only have us going as far south as Halifax, but I would imagine that we'll probably do sort of a lap of the entire province. Go up, ride the Cabot Trail, because I've been on the Cabot Trail in a car when I was a kid, and I remember it being mind blowing. Doing it on a bike, I can't. It's going to be stunning. And then go across to, hopefully go across to Newfoundland. Go out to St. John's, because that was when we planned the original trip. We're going to do tip to tip in Canada, right? So from Vancouver to St. John's. So we're going to go to St. John's, and then basically cross Newfoundland going north, and then get into Labrador. And then again ride all the way up to Goose Bay, and then down to
the 510.
On the 510, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm hoping to do it without having to change tires.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if I just don't know where we can, and I really don't want to take 2 sets of tires on the bikes.
No.
We have enough weight as it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then over to the Labrador City, and then basically work our way down through northern Quebec, get into the Saguenay, and there's a fjord that runs basically from the St. Lawrence north, and apparently it's just amazing riding.
Yeah.
And so go do that, work our way back north in Quebec, and then down over to Timmins, and then back. Through Algonquin. I want to go from beginning to end in Algonquin, because and it's great with our social media. Like I literally just threw this up, and said, this is what my brain came up with, and all of the suggestions that we got for different rides and different places to go, way more than we got with the original big trip. Because this is Canada, right? This is a trip that, and most of our followers are Canadian. And so all kinds of great suggestions on what to do, where to go, and
the different rides people have done, like the legs of what we're doing. Where somebody has said, okay, we did this in X number of days, and we went from here to here, and this is what we did. So. Yeah, like the outpouring. Like I didn't even know he had put a post up, to be honest.
You just come home the one day. Hey, guess what? Here's the trip.
Well, I don't ask permission.
But I've been absent from my social media for a while now, and I started getting all these notifications, like this person liked this comment on the Laps page and everything, and I looked, and Adam had put up a post. This is what I'm thinking. Any suggestions and this and that, and it's just flooded.
Nice.
Right? And
we've got a bunch of offers from Bunka Biker, and
nice.
So a lot of people going, we've got acreage. Just come toss your tent down here, and then what I usually find with Bunka Biker people is that we're a bit of a traveling sideshow. And so you get somewhere and people will be like, hey, leave your tent set up, stay for a day. There's somewhere around here I want to show you.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have so much goddamn trust in people, man. There's no fucking way.
Oh,
hey, does
and
anyone
this is how
come
Machete
over
Guy
here?
gets them.
Yeah, that's right. We're only
Come on
about
back
40
here.
miles off the beaten path
Yeah.
in the fucking woods.
I want to show you this little cabin that I got out here.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
So last night, so I decided because we're about to get some really nice weather.
Yes.
And again, I've been cooped up in the friggin' house since mid-March. So I decided yesterday that I'm gonna go for a ride, see where it takes me.
Yeah.
Could be 4 days, could be 2 weeks. I don't know. My luck, I'll get called back to work as soon as
As soon as you hit the road. Yeah.
But yeah, so I reached out to a guy just outside of Owen Sound who's on Bunkabiker. Went, you know what? This is the situation.
Yeah.
I totally get it. If you guys don't want to be within, 100 meters of me, much less the 2.
Yeah.
But are you cool with me throwing up my tent? I am 100% self-sufficient. Like, I even carry a shower on my bike. I just got a new shovel so I can dig good holes to take a poop in.
They'll be like, oh, we got plenty of shovels. Don't worry about shovels.
And so I emailed him last night, said, hey man, what do you think? And he got back to me this morning and said, yeah, we got lots of room, you're more than welcome. And so, my first little bit this coming week, I'm going to go spend a couple of days up there. Like leave my tent there for a couple of days, go up to Tobermory, do some rips around there,
beautiful.
and then go. If the Chi-Chi-Mon was running, I'd probably go across. But then go ride Blue Mountain area and then I don't know, and then pack up tent probably on Friday and go somewhere else.
And
nice.
I had made the suggestion that he might get skinned as well.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's funny.
Well, it's a good thing he has his knives with him.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny when Rick's coming with me, he's like, it'll all be fine.
Yeah.
When I'm going by myself, he's like, you're gonna get killed, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, like, Nate and I, we had already gone and we had kind of pre-planned the one trip that we're looking to do.
You guys want to do West Coast?
Yeah. We're like, the plan is, we're going to rip out, get out to Victoria there for my graduation when it finally happens there, and then take number 1 highway all the way back just to say, hey, we did it. You know. And knowing that we both had work, and stuff like this, it's like, okay, well, we'd like to make it longer, but I don't know if we will be able to and stuff like this. But after having you guys on the show last time and you talking to us about all this, we're like, you know what? Fuck work. We're going to make shit happen. And, we still have that one trip planned, but we've started planning so many more trips, like taking, Route 66 all the way down as far as we can, coming up the number 1 highway there, the Pacific Coast there, doing that. We've also talked that, if we can get the time and, the funds are available and stuff, when we go out for my grad out in Victoria there, we're going to take the time, take it easy to get out there as opposed to, okay, let's go. Fucking got to go
there.
Yeah. And then take our time to get out there, do the island, and then we make our way back. And then depending on the time and the funding and stuff like this, maybe just keep fucking going all the way to the other side and then come back. Like there's been so many things that we've been sitting here talking about, and it's because of you guys. You guys came up and said, you know what, we're going down to here, and we're like, holy fuck, they're going to run into like 10 different Machete guys, and we're like, you know what, we'll go visit Machete Guy. Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Well, the actual conversation was, if those 2 idiots can figure it out. We can figure it out too.
Oh, 100%.
That is entirely fair. And I'd love to rebut that, but I can't.
No, there's no.
One of the things that I'm going to do on this trip is I'm going to track every penny that we spend.
Yeah.
Every nickel, because we don't have those.
We don't have
no, but I'm going to track, and it'll be on our website. I don't know if I'm going to set it up as a live thing or not, but because I want to prove that this travel, you don't have to be be loaded to do this kind of thing, right? And even if it's done in a car, all you're doing is increasing your fuel consumption, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be very, very sort of anal about following our numbers. Again, just as an encouragement, because we're not by any stretch of the imagination financially well-to-do.
No.
Yeah.
So to just go, you know what, if travel like this is important to you,
Yeah.
it's easy to do. And
Well, then you hear everybody always talking about, well, once I retire. But you retire at 65 or 70, and holy fuck, like I'm 44 now.
Yeah.
And if I ride for 6 or 7 hours, I'm broken.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to be at 65.
yeah.
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like, am I
You're
going to
not
get
gonna
on
be
a
doing
bike at
10,000
65?
K,
Yeah, and
And-
riding all the way out to California and up, and
Yeah.
it's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. And there
Start
are
doing yoga.
start doing
I do yoga.
Do more.
I can just see it now. Me and Nate doing hot yoga together or something.
I do that hot, naked goat yoga.
Goat yoga.
Yes,
Naked
yes.
with the goats.
So you guys are just taking one tent then.
Yes, yeah.
Definitely.
Reasonable.
But yeah, and like when something is important to you, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
Right. And that's basically what it came down to for us. The big trip was our big hurrah. Right?
Yeah.
And whatever we needed to put on hold, whatever we needed to sacrifice to do it, that's what we were willing to do.
Yeah.
Now, with this starting on a smaller scale, it's the same thing, like the same mentality. We want to ride. We want to do this. We want to
Yes.
we want to get these miles under our belt. We want to experience like I've never been to Labrador.
No.
Right? Like I've never been to northern Quebec. So these are things that we want to experience and promote, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Just to get it out there.
Well, and when we came to the realization in March that it would be irresponsible to put all of our hopes on being able to leave on the lap in October.
Yeah.
There wasn't a friggin' hesitation. I just turned to Rick and went, "Well, we're doing something."
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
we have put almost 2 years of work into a trip.
Yeah.
And to suddenly just go,
Yeah. No.
we'll just
fuck
push
that.
we'll
Scrap the whole
push
thing.
the concept of any trip for another year and a half. I could not accept that as a reality.
No.
And then went and there were all kinds of variations of this trip where we were gonna go coast to coast, and I was like, we're almost in the middle, so we'd be backtracking all over the place, and
Yeah.
and then this one just started to make sense.
Well, and it ultimately came to a coin flip to, okay, are we going west or are we going east?
Well, and that
Right?
was my question. It was what made you decide on east over west?
Yeah, like we make most of the important decisions in our life.
Little coin flip.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't
All
have a dartboard, so we had to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. And that was and kind of the thought process was, okay, we do the East Coast this year. Like once we did decide that, we do the East Coast this year. If the lap 2021 can't happen, we do the West Coast next year.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And I mean, there's so much of this country that we haven't seen, and so much beauty to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
And this we may not be able to leave July 1st. We know that.
Yeah.
There's so many variables that are not in our control.
Mhm.
And if it's August 1st that we can leave, then we'll do this backwards.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, I don't necessarily want to be in Labrador City in September,
No.
Yeah.
because
No, there's already
she
foot
might
of
be
snow.
getting a little chilly.
Yeah.
And so we do this backwards, and we do the northern portion in August, and then we come back in September. Or if we can't leave till the middle of, then we just change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like nothing's written in stone. All I can tell you, 100%, the two of us will go spend 6 to 8 weeks on the road somewhere in Canada.
Yeah.
Just doing laps of London.
Absolutely. I friggin' guarantee it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, while Adam was looking up bunker places yesterday
Yeah.
for this trip that he wants to do this week, was I mentioned something about just getting away from our house, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so he starts looking up Bunkabiker. There's a guy like 3 blocks over. I'm like, yeah, go spend 2 weeks with him. Right?
Haven't I seen you before?
Yeah,
No.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't have to run premium fuel in the KLR, so
Yeah.
it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Nice.
But,
Nice.
Yeah.
No, this has been absolutely fantastic. Been loving catching up with you guys.
Oh, it's great
You
to
know,
be back.
can't wait to see how things go. Follow you on the social media, and we're gonna make sure that we get all this up again, so everybody else can follow you, check you out, see what's going on, and hopefully inspire more people to just get the fuck out there and go for a ride.
Well, and hopefully the next time we're back, we've actually got a trip under our belt.
Yeah. Nobody's missing an arm from Machete Guy.
Right,
Fucking,
yeah. We haven't been swallowed by a whale.
We've been away for more than 48 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And before you close up,
Yeah.
I just want to apologize to the French speakers in Canada. Okay. I understand French exists. I don't recognize it as an official language, but I do understand it exists. Power to you. Apologize for whatever I said. Okay, go ahead.
I love it. That's about as politically correct as we'll ever get you to be, right?
Yeah. All right. So, guys, thanks again for coming out. This has been a great ride that we've gone on. Really enjoying it. Can't wait to see you guys back, find out what's going on. We're going to keep everybody up to date on what's happening with you guys there. And hopefully, this COVID thing all fucks off and goes away. And, maybe fucking the 4 of us at some point in time will actually go and do one of the big trips. I got to tell you now, though, I'm staying in a fucking hotel. My 13 years in the military said no more fucking tents.
No more tents.
I've had enough of that shit.
The big bad Harley guy needs a comfortable tent.
That's why I ride a Harley, man. It's a fucking lazy boy.
A couch on wheels.
All right, so thanks for that. Folks, make sure you don't forget to subscribe, share that, hit the bell icon, share everything. Check us out on our platforms there that we have. And until next time, get the fuck out there. Help promote, our own economy within our country. And if you're listening from another country, fucking promote your economy. Get the fuck out there and help out, because ain't nobody else coming to fucking do it for you. So until then, have a good one.
Later.
Yep.
Why are you so offended?